November 26, 2024. Mental health is real. Seek help, end the stigma. On the news this afternoon. Rivers State government disbands all road task forces amid harassment allegations. Security officer links kidnapping rise in Ikwere, Rivers State to political crisis. President Tinubu to present 2025 budget to National Assembly. Port Harcourt refinery begins operation. On the foreign scene, a search for 16 missing people in Red Sea boat accident resumes. I'm Ifechuku Moyle with the news. Now, the Rivers State government has disbanded all local government and Ministry of Transport task forces on road decongestion following allegations of harassment and extortion by officials. Mr. Onuwo made this known in response to growing public outcry, including a viral video showing task force officials allegedly harassing and extorting money from a woman. The incident, which reportedly occurred along Ada George Road in Port Harcourt, involved officials driving against traffic to reach a POS operator where they allegedly forced the victim to withdraw 40,000 naira. The victim captured the event on video. The Transport Commissioner emphasized that the Rivers State government, under Governor Siminalayi Fubara, has a human face and will not tolerate any form of harassment or intimidation of residents under the guise of task force operations. Mr. Onuwo also assured the public that the government would reconstitute a task force to regulate the activities of motorists at an appropriate time. Moving on, the Chief Security Officer of the local government area, Dixon Mbomahom, has linked the rise in kidnapping along the Elele Omerelu and Elele Isiopo road to ongoing political crisis in the state. Speaking to a correspondent in reaction to a viral video of kidnapped passengers along the Elele Omerelu road last week, Mr. Mbomahom alleged that the council chairman created parallel chief security officers, which has enabled the return of individuals previously driven out of the area for their alleged involvement in kidnapping. He alleged that their operations have been hindered by the actions of the current council administration.
It's because of the political problem issue that we have in the state. That's what we consider the problem now. It's because of some hoodlums that chase away because of their previous character doing kidnapping. So they are now continuing from where they stopped. That's the challenge we're having now.
He also revealed that 4 suspected armed robbers were arrested in a forest along the Omagwa-Iguruta road during a routine patrol. He said the suspect had been handed over to the Divisional Police Headquarters in Omagwa for further investigation.
In fact, as I'm speaking with you now, we are in this operation. We have apprehended 4 criminals with 4 guns. As I'm speaking with you now, I can confirm from Omagwa Police Division. Between Omagwa and Iguruta Airport Road inside forest. In fact, we have handed them over to the... Before we normally patrol everywhere, but now we don't longer patrol. Is anyone that wants information? We are not allowed to patrol any longer because of the issue.
He, however, called for measures to tackle the growing insecurity in the area ahead of the festive season. The chairman of Ikwere local government area, Israel Abosi, is yet to respond to text messages by a correspondent on the allegations. Meanwhile, the viral video which first surfaced on Facebook on November 22nd showed 2 men seated on the floor narrating their kidnap experience as residents questioned them. One of them said they were heading to Port Harcourt from Owerri when they were attacked. He said there are still others in captivity.
We are kidnapped on Sunday night. We're coming from Owerri to Port Harcourt. So after LL, reaching somewhere after LL, now when armed robbers stop us for road, carry us enter bush. We there for bush since 3 days without eating, nothing to drink. All the money where there our account, all the money where we get, and so they carry all our money. So the other people where we are now follow, they still there inside that place because of the money where they send never reach them.
The other presumed victim also spoke.
Reaching LL junction, somebody dropped there. So as the person dropped, he said the tire has gone down. He started changing tire. To a point, he went and hired Jack. So after changing the listing, we left. On reaching a particular point, there was this keke bus. Our driver did not monitor things very well. He moved straight and had shot of gun. As he had shot of gun, he put on reverse and drove back. And he didn't drive well. Assuming he drove well, he wouldn't have entered bush. So now grass stopped the motor. They surrounded us. From there, they take us inside bush.
Now, recall that as of 2016, the persistent kidnapping on the Elele-Isiokpo Road led to the setup of multiple police checkpoints on that route. Police have not spoken on the insecurity in Ikwere local government area. Away from that, PDP lawmaker Ugochinyere Ikenga has made public a letter he says showed that the PDP's acting national chairman Omar Damagum initially asked the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to conduct the by-election to fill the vacant seat. Mr. Ikenga said this in Owerri, Imo State, while criticizing the FCT minister and his supporters and the party following the PDP Governors Forum meeting held in Jos.
I want to tell every member of the party in different parts of the country, remain strong and steadfast, start mobilizing, start speaking up. These political boo-boo yaya men cannot hold us to ransom forever. And as long as we are concerned, the 27 lawmakers have lost their seats. Any attempt to use any means whatsoever, it will be an invitation to anarchy. It will be desecration of institutions to now say they are lawmakers so they can make an attempt to impeach a PDP governor. Let it be known. Not only that they will not impeach Fubara, Fubara will contest and win in 2027.
Meanwhile, a reliable source told our correspondent that INEC may not reply the letter. Now, asking for a by-election to fill seats of 27 River State House of Assembly lawmakers who reportedly defected from the PDP to the APC because the National Secretary of the PDP was not part of the signatory to the letter. He said it was part of INEC. It was part of INEC eternal practice to only respond to letters from political parties signed by both the National Chairman and National Secretary. And now over 100 ad hoc staff members who say they were recruited by the River State Independent Electoral Commission, RISIEC, have called on the Commission to publicly release evidence of payment and a list of verified staff.
We would want to know if those of us who officiated in the election conducted by RISEC, we are not the original persons recruited for this job. We demand for RISEC chairman to make public the list of the genuine recruited ad hoc staff. RISEC should also make available the proof of payment of all the genuinely recruited ad hoc staff, source of their payments and date.
I challenge the RISEC to bring the templates which they use in making that payment. They should publicize it, let people see it. That up till now, we are still struggling for training allowance of 5,000 naira. The main capital of RISEC has not been paid.
Is that if the RISEC chairman says he has paid, let him make a public. Let him make RISEC has not paid at all.
Nobody has paid me my training allowance, both my salary. So I'm surprised to hear that all the workers have been paid.
Over the weekend, the RISEC chairman, retired Justice Adolphus Enebeli, insisted that all genuine ad hoc staff members engaged for the October 5th local government elections have been paid. Away from that, the spokesperson of the Emeka faction of APC in River State, Darlington Wuju, says no legally valid APC congresses were conducted in the state. Mr. Wuju said this while speaking on last Saturday's local government congresses organized by the Tony Okocha-led APC faction.
At the end of the day, people are going to see who has chosen the path of infamy, because when the courts have spoken, every person should be able to respect the... Why should an individual attempt to participate in a process that clearly goes against a valid judgment of court?
In other news, the Ebonyi State Governor Francis Nwifuru has suspended the Commissioner for Housing and Urban Development Francis Ori indefinitely and Commissioner for Health Moses Ekuma for 3 months. A statement by the State Commissioner for Information Jude Chikadibia Akbo said The two commissioners were suspended over alleged gross misconduct and negligence of duties. The governor also suspended the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Health, executive secretaries of the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency and State Health Insurance Agency for 3 months. Still to come, Port Harcourt Refinery begins operation. Stay with us. The report by the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, which indicates that a drop in Nigeria's unemployment rate is a fiction that contradicts reality. Now, the National Assistant General Secretary of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Chris Onyeka, argued that the data was inconsistent with the deteriorating economic landscape characterized by factory closures, dwindling manufacturing activity, and rising inventories. President Bola Tinubu will present the 47.9 trillion naira 2025 budget proposal to a joint session of the National Assembly tomorrow. Secretary of Research and Information at the National Assembly, Ali Barde Umoru, disclosed this yesterday. Recall that the Senate had approved the 2024-2026 medium-term expenditure framework after interactive sessions with ministries, departments, and agencies. In business, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited says the Port Harcourt refinery has finally commenced operations. This comes after the renovation and modernization of the refinery, which began in 2021. Recall that the federal government secured a $1.5 billion contract to rehabilitate the facility. Reports say the first trucks of petroleum product will be lifted from the facility on Tuesday under the supervision of the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPCL, Mele Kyari, who toured the facility on Monday night. The refinery, which is located at Alesa Eleme in Port Harcourt, comprises two operational units established in 1965 and 1989, and with a combined installed capacity of 210,000 barrels per day. The older plant has a capacity of 60,000 barrels per stream day, while the newer plant has 150,000 barrels per capacity. Now, the refinery's resumption is expected to further reduce Nigeria's dependence on imported petroleum products and reduce foreign exchange pressures associated with fuel importation. The refinery is also expected to produce premium motor spirit, diesel, and liquefied petroleum gas, among others. As the 16 days of activism enters its second day, women and girls have been advised to be cautious of individuals who are excessively friendly or make promises that seem too good to be true. The River State coordinator of NAPTIP, Ike Diachi Nwamaka, explained that these are common tactics used by traffickers to lure women into exploitation. In an interview with our correspondent, Mrs. Nwamaka urged women to be vigilant about their whereabouts and avoid unfamiliar or unsafe locations.
A lot of times, 80% of our reports and statistics shows that people that traffic victims are usually close to them. Be very careful about very friendly gestures because the end product is for the purposes of the person's exploitation. Again, you should be very careful of some certain job offers that you are not sure of because these are some of the means and mediums that traffickers use, especially on the girl child from the age of 14 to 21.
She also warned families in rural communities to be cautious when allowing their children to be taken by individuals promising better opportunities elsewhere.
We also have
cases of persons even being taken to brothels, where some of them are being forced into prostitution and exploited by those persons that take them. And when these victims are finally rescued, they tell you that their parents are not aware. What they told their parents was that they were taking them to live with someone where they will be enrolled in school or learn a form of trade. So parents should be very careful when you're giving out your child. Know who exactly you're giving your child to.
And now to entertainment. South African singer Tyler has received the highest number of entries in the top Afrobeat song category, leading the nominations with 3 entries. In sports, Zambia and Orlando Pride forward Barbara Banda has been voted BBC Women's Footballer of the Year. She received the most votes from readers of the BBC Sports website after a 5-player shortlist was announced last month.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
A search for 16 people missing after a tourist boat sank in the Red Sea on Monday has resumed for a second day. 44 people were on board the Sea Story when it sank, with 28 having been rescued. 2 of those missing are British, one Finnish citizen, and 4 Egyptians. The boat may have sunk after being hit by a large wave.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. Before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. River State government has disbanded all road task forces amid harassment allegations. Security officer in Equator local government area has linked the rise in kidnapping in the area to the political crisis. President Tinubu will present 2025 budget to the National Assembly tomorrow. Port Harcourt Refinery has begun operation. On the foreign scene, search for 16 missing people in Red Sea boat accident has resumed. The news was edited by Onyekachi Musu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I'm Ifechukwu Monyele. Many thanks for listening.